Hey guys, it's Mero here! Have you ever seen a piece of art and you were like, oh, it's so pretty! I bet it would be cool if it moved. Well, here's the video to teach you how to do that. To give it a bit of preface, this is how it looks like in Live2D, and this is how it looks like after it's processed in After Effects. But wait, before we start, there's something important we need to talk about. To animate an illustration, we need to prep the file by first cutting the layers, and this usually involves cutting and redrawing some parts of the picture. Therefore, it is very important to get permission from the illustrator. It will be good if you can provide samples of your works and examples of how the layers are cut, as some illustrators may be unfamiliar with the process. Do not rip off art you find on the internet and animate it without permission. That is a big no-no. If I find any of you who watch this video doing that, I will find you and eat you. Well then, Mero, how do I start? Why do I animate? Well, you can start with your own artwork, your friend's artwork, or that you have commissioned, provided you have permission. Honestly, anything as long as you have permission. Remember, permission! If you're animating for commercial activities like VTubing, always remember to check with the illustrator if there's an additional commercial fee. Lastly, always remember to credit! In this case, I'd like to thank Yuru, the commissioner of this art piece, and Ransama, which is also my mama, for permission to animate this wonderful piece of art. Yuru ねとラママ、本当に許可もらえてありがとうございます。大好きだよ。Now, to the main point. Honestly, the prepping and cutting of layers is really easy. Just remember the keyword: duplicate. The key point of layer cutting is to redraw the parts that are not available in the art. For example, this character is holding a fan, and I think she looks super duper cute if she can fan herself with it, and that's what I'll try to do. However, this illustration is only in one layer, so first what you need to do is to separate the character from the background. In my case, the character is already separated from the background, so I did not have to do any additional work here. Next, duplicate the character layer and keep one copy unedited for safekeeping and to refer back to when we are 1000 layers deep. Next, isolate the arm and keep duplicating the layer and separating them into individual parts like this. Now let's try moving it. Something seems wrong. We're missing some color at the back. This means that we need to go into the layer and fill it up. After editing this part, this looks just right. Now using the same method, keep redrawing and duplicating as you deem fit. As you can see, this is a really time-consuming task. I think I took a total of about 9 hours to split and prep the file for animation. This actually took more time than animating in Live2D itself. If you are planning to animate an artwork from the start, I would recommend commissioning art that's already split into layers by the illustrator. This is because for highly rendered pieces of art, it is hard to split light, shadows, and transparent layers nicely. Redrawing may make the artwork look a little different from how the original artist intended the final product to look, so this method of cutting is only recommended if you decide to split the layers later on after the art is already complete, or the artist does not provide layer cut illustration services. Or you're like me, you want to do everything yourself and you just like pain. I've also compiled all the layers I've cut into this little spreadsheet for reference, just as a visual indicator of how many layers are there in total. So honestly, everything just uses the same technique, but I think beginners might be a little bit confused as to how to split and what to split, so I'm just gonna leave some examples here on the screen so that you guys can use it as reference, I guess. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but I think you can see it flash across the screen occasionally. I keep a copy of the original at the very top, the one I set previously to save, and I toggle the visibility of it from time to time to make sure that the redraw is as accurate as can be to the original. I try to find brushes that are similar to what the original illustrator used as well, so the overall look remains the same. When I'm having trouble with how much to redraw, I tend to use the rotate tool to help me get a feel of how it will look like. Okay, I think I've said most of what I wanted to say. I'm just gonna leave the time-lapse on so that you guys can use it as reference for any parts that you're unsure about how to split. And I hope you guys have a fun time splitting layers. With this, we are done with layer splitting! Remember to save it as a PSD. Most popular animating software like Live2D, Spine, and After Effects work well with PSD files. Using this method of layer cutting, you can animate the file in most animation softwares. I was going to do the whole Live2D tutorial time-lapse thing in the same video, but this has gone on for far too long, and I think I might split this into 2 videos. Do let me know if you want a time-lapse of the Live2D animating process too. It's my first time editing this kind of video, so it might not be great, but I did my best. If there was anything unclear or anything that could have been better, do leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, or if this video was helpful to you one way or another, do leave a like and subscribe. Till next time!